Hello everybody and welcome back to Edgewater, Saskatchewan, episode number 34, I think. Great news is it's December and it is not snowing. However, it is expected because I can see it in the top corner. I don't know how long we have. It's going to start snowing at 2 PM approximately, so we don't have long. We kind of know what we need to do. Main thing is pick up the swaths. So I use the swather to actually cut the grass and swath it properly this time. Last time it kind of didn't quite work the way it should have done, just because we kind of had more than one lot of grass there cut. So this time it's made it nice and easy for us. That swather is great, by the way. It turns incredibly. So hopefully this will not take too long. And then, depending on how we get on, we will look for a trailer and try and get those bales collected, I guess, because realistically you probably wouldn't leave those bales of flax straw out when the snow comes. Now I've had a little peek at Mod Hub and I did find two extra nice looking ones, to be honest. One of them is a definite because we can afford it. The other one is probably an okay one for the future maybe, but these two here. So this is the $4,500. We can afford that pretty much straight away, and it will do everything we need it to do, to be honest with you. It has like a used version or a new version which costs that a little bit more. So $4,500, don't really need much more than that. So that would do the job perfectly for us. This one here is kind of a nice to do, I guess, so it's a little bit more. The reason it's a nice to do is I have a feeling, well in fact I'm pretty sure that this is the kind of modular one. It's part of a modular pack, so you can attach like a water tank to it. I think you might be able to convert it into a small animal trailer actually. I'm not too sure, but certainly to start it off though, you can see the lizard modular trailer mod, and you can actually have the kind of Bale module they call it. This is the kind of the holders to go either side of the actual trailer to stop the bales rolling off. I guess not too much of an issue for us because we've got square bales, but that is a good one to go for eventually. But this is probably the one that we're going to go for today, $4,500. So that's ideal. But I'm not worrying about that yet. We're going to worry about, well, in actual fact, jump into the case, taking this back because we do actually need to run the forage wagon with this. I've been having a little bit of a think as well, and thanks very much for the comments. I got loads of comments from the last episode I recorded. I think, in theory, if all goes to plan, it's the episode which you would have watched yesterday. Because I'm recording this Wednesday night, so hopefully I get this recorded and edited ready to go for Thursday. So yeah, so all the comments I got yesterday, they were really good. Kind of a few suggestions, agreeing with a couple of scenarios I was thinking of. All round positive, and help me kind of plan out for the future. So an obvious thing, which just seems a must-do really, is to buy a field a bit closer to the spinnery. We will be buying the spinnery, there's no doubt about it. It's 60,000. We're going to make that. Hopefully we're going to make triple that, but we're going to buy that. Yeah, and we're getting a field close by. It's a no-brainer really. Let's put sheep in it. So they'll be producing the wool. They're right next to the spinnery to convert to fabric. It just seems it's a no-brainer. It's so obvious. So that's what we'll do. So we're going to invest some money in sheep, and we are going to invest some money in a field nearby. Now once we get going, once we've got our main kind of jobs out of the way today, I'll have a little gander at the various fields which are around, just to get a rough idea of pricing. But I'm pretty sure that up near the top of the map there are some quite cheap grass fields, which would be perfect. We want small, we want cheap. We'll probably place like an open pasture there. Just let the sheep free roam around the grass and just kind of feed them up and sort us out with some wool. It's funny, on the last episode I actually already designed a thumbnail. It's quite funny. It was the Challenger, well, the Swaffer, which we branded as a Challenger right back quite a few episodes ago now. But it was actually a picture of that doing the grass cutting. And funnily enough, it's so coincidental, I'm sure, but it's oddly coincidental. Mr. Seeley B, again, he released his episode of Saskatchewan. And he's actually now bought the Swaffer, and coincidentally bought the exact same brand. And pretty much the thumbnail of his most recent episode, it almost looked the same. It almost looked like the same picture. Don't quite know how it happened, but no, I can't use that now. So I went back into my recording and just screenshotted pictures straight from the recording and kind of changed it a little bit. Yeah, it's quite funny. Strange coincidence. Honestly, I know I've joked before, but I really do think if someone started watching me now and kind of seen this series, if it wasn't for the fact that, you know, YouTube videos have dates on them, you genuinely would probably think that I'm copying. It's just funny. It's funny how things work out. Okay, there we go. Our first 16,100 litres into the fermenting silo, which is great. Before we get too carried away, let's just make sure it is actually activated still. It is indeed, which is good, because we want that working as quick as possible. We've only actually got, in theory, a month for that to ferment. Would help if I turned that on, wouldn't it? Let's try again. There we go. Another no-brainer, talking about what we're going to spend the money on. So I've not even earned the money yet, and I'm already planning what it's going to be spent on. I've kind of covered my itch for a new tractor and getting this piece of machinery here, this case, which I do really like. So now it's kind of sensible things. And I think a really good call is a forage wagon, and a big forage wagon. Certainly one that's bigger than this, for multiple reasons, to be honest. Bigger capacity means we haven't got to go backwards and forwards so many times. If I don't have to go backwards and forwards so many times, it's less time lapses and more actual gameplay when it comes to recording, which is always better. But also, it would be better for delivery. So, you know, as much as you can pick up at one time saves the trips back to the silo. It also saves the amount of journeys we would have to make to actually deliver it. You know, if we could get a forage wagon with a good 35,000 capacity, that literally halves the amount of loads that we have to do to sell it. And it would also mean 2 birds in 1 stone kind of thing. We wouldn't have to worry about buying another trailer for the Mac, because we haven't really got anywhere we can fit it. But I do like the sound of that. Silage additive does make a difference. Of course, that increases yield. I believe it increases yield by 5%, and 5% is a decent amount when you think of how much kind of grass we do. But I'm assuming that's also 5% of the straw. Interesting to know if it's 5% of the flax straw, because that could be worth doing for definite. Yeah, so I think that's a good to do for definite. And I have scouted ModHub. I haven't actually downloaded anything yet, but just to get a rough idea, because actually the in-game forage wagons are pretty expensive. This one was pretty expensive actually, and this was the smallest of the lot. So yeah, I have scoured through ModHub, and there is one that stands out. It stands out, but I can't remember the name of it, so it doesn't stand out that much. But yeah, it's a lizard one, so it's one of those kind of replica type brands. But it has 2 options. The first option is unrealistic. it has a capacity of 200,000, and I just wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that at all, because yeah, that's just so unrealistic, I think. But the second one has a capacity of 50,000, and the actual trailer is about 50 or 60,000 to buy, so that's a bit more reasonable. £1,000 per 1,000 litres. I think that's reasonable, so that's probably what I would go for. But again, it is a lizard, and I don't tend to use the lizard stuff too much, only because I like to try and relate something to an actual brand. But yeah, if anyone's got any other suggestions though, if you've used anything, then do let me know. That would be quite helpful, because that will probably be something I'll install and have activated ready, and maybe one of the first purchases we make once we make this kind of nice boost to funds. Okay, another load. This seems to be yielding pretty good now. Seems pretty good. Now, I think when it comes to editing, I'm probably not time-lapsing this. I'm probably just kind of skipping between sections, because I can't really shut up tonight. I seem to be talking a lot, but there's quite a few things to talk about. There we go. Final load. So, how much do we get after all of that? Let's have a look. To be honest, that didn't feel like it did yield as well as previous. Oh, to be fair, no, there's 92,000 litres in there. Plus it's fermented a little bit of it as well. So that is wonderful. So it's going to be 300,000 litres of that. 300,000 litres of silage. Again, we sold a load of it as well. I'm not looking forward to doing it with that. That is going to be a pain. Mind you, at least we've got a quicker tractor this time around. But yeah, that is going to be a pain. Right, I've just remembered whilst doing that, I actually need to check the price of flax, because if I remember correctly, December was the month to sell it. December, yeah. So we'll have to keep an eye out. So quite a few people have mentioned it. Once you use the train, it seems to be a bit of a bug and it doesn't come back. And I've not really been paying attention. So we just need to keep an eye out whether or not we can actually see that train. Not too sure. What on earth is that little white dot there? Right over to the left where I'm kind of looking right now. Never noticed that before. Never noticed that. Okay, well that's a shame, because the price is pretty good on the train actually, but it's not really much point paying for it if it's never going to turn up. Oh no, it is. It's there. Let's visit. No, wow, it does come back. So maybe that's just a little bug on some of them. Good. So let's get back to business. So flax, currently 3,973 per 1,000 litres. I want to say we've got 14 and a bit. That's pretty good. So we do need to sell that. We also, at the same time, need to sell the wheat. Because yeah, the wheat is also a really good price. 1,724. So we do need to drive the Mac down there and have that ready to go. Now I'm hoping, because this time we're kind of loading with a standard trailer, that we will not have any issues. Unlike when we tried to get this low loader in, that was a nightmare. So that is something we do need to get doing. Now, although the price does look like it's going down, it's got kind of you read the arrows pointing down. Quite often it does still continue to go up. 3973. Let's just do a little trial. I skip. Speed the time up a little bit. We can afford to get it to 11. just as a bit of a tester. And go back into it. 3976. It's certainly not going down. And we pretty much skipped a whole hour. So sometimes the red arrow is a bit misleading. Okay, good. Wow. Do you know what? We could probably take the Mac down, sell that a bit early, and maybe go for the slightly better trailer. That may be a good idea. What's actually in the used shop today? Oh, really? I mean, come on. I'm not complaining. But honestly, people are going to think a lot I'm taking the mickey now. I'm not cheating. I don't know how to cheat. It's like the game listens to everything you talk about and it's just kind of randomly popping up. In fact, there was one point where you would hardly ever see any of the mods you installed even appear in the used shop. Now it seems to be every one I activate appears. Yeah. Wow, I mean, it's a no-brainer though. 4,178, we can afford it anyway. Let's just buy that. Perfect. What else can I say? Absolutely perfect. Right, wow. We need to get John Deere with the pallet forks attached down to the shop to pick up the trailer. Hopefully it will have no issues towing it. What's going on with that door? Why is that door being a bit funny? There we go. That was annoying me, that was. So yeah, let's get the pallet forks connected up and we'll set this with a worker just to head back down to the shop. That'll sort our straw situation out. I clicked on that trailer then without really looking at it, but I'm pretty confident it should kind of hopefully fit most of our bales on it in one go. That would be ideal, really. That's what I want. I am probably going to stick with the track going through our own land, by the way. Quite a few people have commented on that as well. That was my preference anyway, to be honest. I didn't overly like the idea of it going through the neighbouring farm. I would rather create my own track. So that is something that's going to come up in the next episode or two. There's a bit of a different thing coming up soon. Probably posted on Sunday maybe. But it's kind of a... I normally do all the kind of side earnings, the fund for the landscaping off camera, and it's normally fertilising contracts on this map just because they're quick, they're easy, and it doesn't take up a lot of video time. But actually this time I've done something a bit different, and I've already done it. In fact, I've already pre-recorded the episode, so I won't give too much away, but it is it's doing the landscaping, but almost has a bit of a side hustle, a bit of a side business. So yeah, hopefully on Sunday, I've recorded it, I've edited it, the episode's pretty much ready to go. But I'm actually doing it with another player on their map, in their own kind of series that they've got going on their own channel. So I'm releasing it in time with when they release theirs, to be honest, just so I don't kind of ruin the flow, because for me it doesn't really matter, but what it has done is generate a little bit of that side income whilst doing landscaping for someone else on their own map. So I quite enjoyed it as well, because, you know, landscaping is one of my favourite parts about this game. And yeah, just a little bit different, I guess. A little bit of role play involved with it, but I've certainly had to earn the extra additional money that we're making from it, that is for sure. But anyway, that's an episode coming out on Sunday. I'm not going to put it down as part of this playlist, even though it does affect this series. I'm not going to include it as part of the playlist. I'm probably going to do it a bit different, because I actually enjoyed it so much I might do it again. Certainly for anyone else, to be honest. If there's anyone who wants a bit of landscaping doing, it is much easier to do on PC when you have a keyboard and a mouse. But yeah, I would actually probably record kind of a time-lapsey type thing doing it, and then take on some kind of digital money to bring back to this series to then pay for our own landscaping. It's good. So it sounds good. It's certainly something that's different. What I would still like to come up, actually, if I'm honest, is maybe like the Fiat Agri, or like another cheap medium tractor. Just something that has a front loader, because I have a feeling that this John Deere is going to struggle to lift these bales. I really do. It might be alright with one at a time, but you know that's going to be quite timely, and it's going to get pretty tedious for me. So yeah, I do feel now, from a front loader point of view, if we're going to really get into bales, which we are, probably start baling standard straw as well, we are going to need a tractor that can cope with it. Yeah, so I'm keeping my eyes open. That is quite vital. Now, as we're approaching, I have driven the Mack down here. The John Deere is not here yet. Must still be on the way. Train has just gone past again, in fact, so I'm pretty confident there's no issues with the train. I hope. We'll soon find out. Now, I'm going to go around the back. I'm not going to risk it again. This obviously isn't the low loader, but it's still a pretty long trailer. So we're going to just sell them both. We might as well. This is the month to do it. Yes, I could probably scrape a few dollars per 1,000 if I left it a bit longer, but let's just go with it. Now, switch over to this view. Try and make sure we can line up properly. Okay, so wheat. Let's unload that. Now, the wheat was at the back, so we're going to need to reverse. It won't let me unload the front, and I'm just wondering, I mean, it's never been the case before, but I'm wondering if it'll only take one type of grain in the silo. Not sure. Fortunately, the train is right there, and I know that the thingamajig is right here somewhere. Okay, good. It's just stopping and it's reversing. So yeah, I'm just wondering if maybe the big silo only accepts one type of grain into that at a time. So maybe if we unload it into the train. Oh, I forget it goes back there, doesn't it? Yeah, let's unload the wheat into one of the containers of the train, and then jump back to the truck and see if it'll allow us to put that flax in. I do hope so. Flax has a price with the train, so surely I can sell it in the train. That would also be a little bit annoying if we couldn't. These brakes are awful. Right, come on, stop. Okay. Right. Let's jump back into the truck. Did this fix it? Has this worked? Maybe it was me. Maybe I was doing something silly. Probably. Wouldn't surprise me. But it worked. Can we flick to the train? Oh dear. I should have known. Helper G. Right. You can try him again. Okay. Right. Well, that was a palaver. But we've done it. We've got it sorted. How much money is this going to raise us? I actually don't know. I'm not too sure. 55? 60 grand maybe? If we're lucky? That's going to be a massive boost though, whatever it is. Right, let's do it. Sell the goods? Yes please. Wow. 81,809 plus an 8,287 environmental score reward. That is incredible. That is a lot more than I thought, actually. A lot more. To think I almost forgot that December was the right time to sell it, in fact. That wasn't even anything I was considering when I first started recording this episode, so amazing. The John Deere is still not here at the shop. Still not here. Maybe I can see it over there in the distance. Can we see it there? Is that it? Finally arriving? Yeah, it is. Well, it's about bloody time. Wow, that traffic certainly does not appreciate the John Deere's top speed. It doesn't stop. Oh dear. Oh dear. That is quite funny though. Right, let's just... If we're lucky, we'll get to the end of here, past that kind of pinch point on this path, see if we can send this back up with an AI worker, and then we'll jump in the John Deere, and we'll try and get those bales all loaded up. Hopefully, all of them will go onto one. That is my hope. Now, hopefully, see if this guy can make this here. Did we go far enough? Yes, we did. Looks promising. Right, let's jump to here. So, I didn't find the weight, by the way. I'm not going to lie, I didn't look. However, what I realise is, it's probably no good anyway. Jump in this. I'm pretty sure it's probably in here, because this is where we were kind of dumping stuff initially. But no, I don't know. Where did I put it? I do not know where that weight is. Maybe I sold it. Maybe I didn't mean to sell it, but I sold it. I must have done. I don't remember doing it, but I must have sold it. So anyway, my concern is that actually we won't be able to pull the trailer either way. Let's see if there is a weight available which has the attacher on the back of it. I see actually the majority of them do, don't they? And I think probably this one is the safest one to go for. The 1,100 kilogram one. Because it's quite big, but we'll be able to use that in the future. So we'll buy that. Looks like it's got the right attacher, which is good. Oh, wonderful. Look at that. That actually worked out alright. I'm quite happy with that setup. So, let's go and see. Certainly looks big enough. Okay, here we are. Pulling back up to the field. Now, where do we start? 14 bales, I think we counted. I'm pretty sure that was the amount anyway. Right. Let's get loading. And it does a cracking job, by the way. Does a really good job. No problems at all. With one, anyway. We will try it with two. Try and do these as neatly as possible, because I would like to, if ideally, if at all possible, get all 14 of these on the same trailer. Okay, right. Let's give it a go with two now, shall we? Well, I know they say a bad workman always blames his tools, but this is difficult. This challenge is that the tractor's not very manoeuvrable, and it's just so slow. Like now, I want it to go, and it just doesn't go. It's so slow. Yeah, it does make it a little bit more challenging. However, it is handling this really well. We could probably go 3 high, but we don't need to, I don't think. As long as I stack these properly, I think, what can we do? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. We could probably get them all on there 2 high, and then a couple extra ones just sat on the top. As long as I stack them up properly. So, let's keep going. 209 quid wage payment. That's how much it cost me just to get this bloody tractor to the shop. Because he was driving into that lamppost. Honestly. Okay, last bale. I kind of learnt from the last one. If you get it on a bit of a funny angle, it tends to go on a bit better. Because you are. Another reason why this tractor is kind of almost had its day is you only just get it on there, and in terms of its actual length, you don't have much forward distance with it when it's at its highest point, so you you have to do what I've done there. That's not just bad stacking, that is because I didn't have a choice. Now I did make a bit of a blunder. Maybe I was supposed to customize it and put straps on. I don't know, but it doesn't strap. I probably shouldn't have rushed into it. I got excited about the fact that it was on deal and I didn't actually read anything at all. The good news is this is the slowest tractor in the world, so we should have no issue with going slow and not knocking off the bales. But we do have a bit of an issue with it turning. This may not go so well. Actually, it may not go very well at all. In fact, oh gosh, I will try it with the weight taken off of it. If that doesn't work, we may need to swap tractors, because that's going to be a disaster. That's going to be an absolute disaster. So, let's drop that weight off. Maybe with that weight as well, it was too much. Maybe this will be okay. Fingers crossed. Seems better. Seems better. Oh dear. Don't hit that big lump of straw. Okay. Wow, this is nerve-wracking. I don't know where I'm going to put these. I'm not too sure. I mean, I suppose, actually, we could just buy the spinnery. Because we've made so much money compared to what I thought we would have done. Maybe we can do that. In fact, this feels like a good opportunity to have a quick look at the map. Now, obviously, for some weird reason, it's not kind of rendered in the crops properly. Don't know what that's all about. But there's a few areas. So spinnery's here. And there's a few areas around here. I mean, that, I believe that is like a little house. 71,000 as well. But that, maybe we should check that out. It's only 29,000. It does have a water, like a big lake. And actually, looks a perfect area. The expected yield potential is irrelevant because we're going to use it for animals. 29,478. What do we have over here? Oh no, that's quite expensive, so that is no good. Have we got anywhere else close to the spinnery? Probably not. I mean, not for that price. We'll have to go and check that out. We'll have to drive up there. Maybe we'll hop into the pickup truck and we'll just go check it out, see what we think. Because that does seem like a good deal. Good place to put some sheep. The shop's getting its own back on us now, look. All it's got in there is stuff we've already got. We've already got that low loader, that exact low loader, and we've already got a sprayer, so I think it must have heard us questioning it, and it's decided to put two things in there that we do not need. Well, I figured this straw needs to make its way up here anyway, and it's been a long and painful process, but I may as well just drive it all straight up here. And actually, we'll take a look at this little plot of land as we go past in the tractor. So, I mean, I can't believe how much money we have. Honestly, I did not. Flax is a good crop. Given that we're about to make a heck ton of money from this straw, it is a good crop. Now, does it have an entranceway? I'm assuming that's the field, and this is the entranceway. Let's just pull over here off of the road. That also looks a good looking crop field just opposite there as well. Okay, well, let's have a look a minute. I mean, this is perfect. This is perfect for some sheep. Definitely. You can just see them here now. And it's ideal that there's water there. And bit of a forest area. Don't know why we'd need that, to be honest with you. We wouldn't need that at all, really. But actually, yeah, this does seem, really does seem like a good thing to go for. £29,478. I guess the only thing to consider is how long is it going to take us to make that money back from sheep's wool? That's something we're not going to know. Okay, well, let's do it. Let's just do it. Why not? So, £29,478. I'm going straight in. Don't care about the yield potential. Let's do it. Right. Amazing. I absolutely did not expect to be doing this episode. That is for sure. Now, I am just going to have a look to preempt ready for the next episode whether or not I've got anything suitable already installed. Now, I know I do have that. The thing that puts me off with that is what I've learned with the pigs very quickly is it's too small. It's far too small. This, more like it, however, it's 97,000. I'll have a look in Mod Hub. I think, kind of, I don't know, is it the basic pastures pack? The basic, the open one. The one that doesn't have a boundary, that you can see anyway, and they just kind of freely roam. I think that's the one that we'll probably go for, and we'll put it smack bang in the middle of that field. Yeah. So, the next episode is going to be January. January is going to be the big day. The big sales day. Now, we are ending this episode, I just can't believe it. We're ending the episode with $59,877. That is incredible. So, what do I do? What do I do for the next episode? I'll have a look in Mod Hub. I'll see what kind of open sheep areas there are available. Hopefully a little bit cheaper than 97,000. But I'm kind of thinking maybe right at the beginning of the next episode I really should go for an increased capacity forage wagon, because that is a really big future investment, and it's gonna kind of reduce the amount of to-in and throw-in down to the shop we have to do by maybe 3 times less. So I think that's That's a good way to go. So in the meantime, let me know what you think. I'm not going to pre-record the next episode. I'll do that next time round. So I will have a look at the comments before I start the recording. But wow, another piece of land. Let's get the spinnery sorted in the next episode. Things are turning for the better, seeming pretty good. Until the next episode anyway. Cheers and gone.